Hello everyone, hope you are doing great. So recently I made a procedural music system for the AirWiggles music competition, and a friend of mine asked me if he could get an executable for an infinite music generation. So I said yes, no problem, let me do that in Godot. So we are gonna do that using the buttons. Why buttons? Because when I start, the music plays, and I don't want that. I want a play button and a stop button, a slider, and a style selector. So let's start with the buttons, the play and the stop button. So I'm gonna click here at child node, or doing Control A, I will search for button and we'll choose this button. Okay, so I have the button here, and it will be called play music. Play music. And in the inspector, I will put play music. So now I have a button, but it doesn't do anything. How do I connect it to the script? Using signals. Signals are the way in which the nodes are connected with each other. So in order to do that, we have to select the node button and go into the node tab, and you can see all the different signals that this button has. If you don't see anything, it's because you are pressing the groups subtab, and you have to now click the signals tab. So for the play music, I want to send a signal to the game when the button is pressed. So I will double click the pressed, and I will connect it to the master node. And as soon as I hit connect, a function is created into the audio script that is here in the master node. So if I do a print and I say button pressed, when I hit play, the button is being pressed. So let's replace this with the Wwise event. So now nothing happens until I hit the play music button. Great. So now I want a button to stop the music. So I will Control A, I will put another button. This will be called stop music. Again, stop music. But this time I don't want the music to stop, or I don't want the button to send a signal when it's pressed, but when the mouse hovers it. So for that, I will send a signal for this function, for when the mouse entered. So I will double click it, I will say connect it to the master node, and a function is being created that says on stop music, mouse entered, do something. And this is interesting, or this is something to consider. This symbol refers to a signal, and you can see a symbol for the node. This symbol means that this node has some signals connected to somewhere. So when the stop button has the mouse hovering, let's put the print so we can see it. Stop music. It's in the same place, so I'll change it here. So as soon as I enter the mouse, stop music. If I hit play, nothing happens because the script is this one. The script is when the mouse enters, not when I click, not when I get out of the button, but when I enter. So in this, I will replace it. I'm gonna say Wwise post event ID, and I will say AK events dot stop all, and will refer to self. So here starts when I click, and here when the mouse enters, it stopped. So we got the play and the stop. Now I want to change the style. So for that, I will go into the options button, and here's my view. I will put it here, and here I can click here in the item and add an element. What are the elements that I want? I want here these elements: hairband, strings, Twin Peaks, and Chopin. One way to add them is going here and put Chopin, another element, Twin Peaks, but that takes me time, and I'm a very lazy person, so I will leave it that way, and I will add it through code. So one way to do it is by I will drag and drop the options button. I will say dot add item, and I will write, for example, Twin Peaks, and I will refer to the ID that it's called 0. And I will do that again for, sorry, remember to add the tab here because we are on the ready function. So when the program starts, it will add the Twin Peak item into the option button. And then I can change here from Chopin. But what happens if we have 50 different styles? And I don't want to put them all manually, because I'm a very lazy person, and you should be lazy too. So let's create a simple code. Let's rename this to be style music, and let's put a space. So what I want is to get all the items in the dictionary, because it's a dictionary, and I want to put them as items into the style music. So I need to create a for function that goes into each element of the dictionary and puts them into the options button. So I will say for keys in AK that they are the styles. Sorry, the states that are in the styles. But I want to enter in the dictionary, so I will say dictionary that first is the group song, because it's song and then the state. Then state. Then I want the function keys, like Captain Keys of Halo, that one. Keys. What does the function key? Or let's go into the search help. I will put keys. Here, the dictionary keys. It will show up the dictionary. Array keys. Return the list of keys in the dictionary. What are the keys? The elements here. Okay? So, this is, I will here, and I will say for keys in states, I will drag and drop the style music, and we say dot add item, and the label will be the keys. And we don't need to add the index because it will be added automatically. So now when I run, it will have all the items automatically. And now if I hit play, it doesn't do anything because I didn't use the signal to change. But again, I'm a very lazy person and I don't want to add the signal manually. So let's create a function. And I will say, okay, let's drag and drop the style music. What is the signal that I want? I want the item selected, because when I select an item, I want that item to change the style. So the signal is item selected. Dot connect. And here I will put the name of the function that I want to connect it to. So I will say on style change it. It's red because there's no function created. So we need to create the function. So we say func on style changed. And because it's an int and it's an index, let's put index int and then assign it to a void. So when I select the item, it will send to the function the index as an integer. So what I want is to use wise dot set state id, and I want to set the state into the AK states song group. And here I want to connect the name of the style music button node with the key of the dictionary. So for that, I will say, it's a bit tricky, but stick with me. I will say, let's go into the AK, that is the class name of the Wise ID GD. Class name AK. I want to go into the states, and in the states I want to call the dictionary and go into the first the group that is songs, then to the state, and in the state I want to get the name of the keys. So I want to the function get, and in the get I want to get the name of the style music dot get item text, referring to what? To the index. Okay. And to be more clear, I will print the index. And if everything works correctly, when I change, it went into the index 2. What's the index 2? 0, 1, 2. Okay? If here, if I change into Twin Peaks, it went to 1. What is 1? 0, 1. Twin Peaks. Okay? So great. This is working. It's working? Okay, it's working. Because I set the stop music to send the function when the mouse is hovering, and as soon as I enter here, it stops. Okay, so the last thing I want is the slider. So let's put an horizontal slider. I will create it here, put it here, there. Maybe I can add a label and say, go here, put music volume. And this is important, you need to reference the minimum and maximum value of the slider. Those values will need to match or must match the RTPC value that you made in Wwise. I made the RTPC value the same as here, from 0 to 100, and I will set the starting value to 100. Okay, so when the value change, I want the slider to send a signal when the value changed. Okay, so I will create here, I will H slider will say music volume, or label, and this is label music. And we say music volume. I will drag and drop, and I will say the node is value changed. So dot value changed dot connect, and the name of the function will be on music volume changed, and I will go in here, copy, create that function, and because it's a float, I will put value float, and we'll convert that to void, and I will say this one. We'll copy because it's the same. It's the parameter music volume, but instead of putting a 100, I will refer this value to the value of the RTPC. So I will put value. So if everything works, if I turn down, and if I change, and if I want to stop, okay. So that's it for the music. But for the sake of the video, of the tutorial, I have a simple gun sounding for the pistol and for a shotgun. And for that, we are gonna use switches and another button that it's called menu button. That it's a bit tricky, but stick with me and you will find out how to do it. So I have the menu button here. Well, first I will put it here, but then I want a button for playing the sound. I have the play gun. Here is the gun switch. First, I will add the script for the button. I will drag and drop. And you can see here that if you have an a space, Godot automatically will put comillas. And for example, if I take them out, I will take out, or if I put the underscore, Godot will put it as one name. So it's the same. If you want to use space or underscores, it's the same. So let's put this, and I will say when now I want this button to when the mouse exits the button. So I will say mouse exit connect, and I will say on guns fire. I will copy, add the func on guns fire, and because there's nothing here, you can leave it that way. You need to add this and use the void. And let's say wise post event id ak dot events dot play guns, and I will refer it to self. So now if I need to move the button, play guns. So now if when I enter, nothing. When I click, nothing. When I exit, it will sound. So here's the switch. Let's go. Well, let's create a label for the guns. Oh, well, this one, guns volume, label guns. And let's put a vertical slider. Okay. So it's the same value at 100. And let's go into the script. Let's add the specs volume. The same here on SFX volume changed. Go into the function. Let's change this one here, and I will put it down of the music volume. And I will say wise dot set rtpc value id, and I will say ak game parameters dot sfx volume. The value is value, and I will refer it to self. Okay, let me. Okay, it's working. So now let's go into the guns switch. No. Here, I will put select gun, and it's the same here. I can go into the items and select the items, but I'm a very lazy person and you should be lazy too. So let's do that by script. So the guns, the menu button has a pop-up menu. Let me show you with one item. When I click the menu button, this pop-up window shows up. So what we need to do is to we need to get into the pop-up menu. We don't want the menu button, but we want the pop-up that the menu button shows. So for that, I will create another for function, and I will say for keys in. Now I want the switches. AK dot switches. Let's go into a dictionary. Dictionary dot guns dot where is switch? Remember that it's gun and then switch because we are in the gun here in the dictionary. Guns group, and it's the switch. The guns, and then we go into the switch, and then we want the keys of this dictionary. So let's go into the keys function and say gun switch, but if I want to add the item, it won't show. Why? Because I need to go into the pop-up menu. And I will say, well, get pop-up, and here I will add the item. Here it doesn't show in the autocomplete because this is a bug of Godot 4.2. I hope that this will get fixed in future updates. So if you start writing item and it doesn't show anything, stay calm, everything will work. So add item and we'll get the keys. So now when I select the gun, it will show up the pistol and the shotgun, and I will erase the A here because I don't want it. Okay. So the last thing is to link the switch of the gun switch to the Wwise switch. So for that, again, I want to get into the Wwise gun, the Wwise pop-up. And because there's this bug in Godot that I cannot see what are the signals of the pop-up, because the signals that are being shown in this node tab are for the menu button. So for that, I need to go into the documentation, go into the pop-up menu, this one, and I will go down until I see the signals. These are the signals that the pop-up menu has. And I want this one, ID pressed, that it's emitted when an item is being pressed. So I will copy all. No, I will only copy this one. I will say ID pressed dot connect, and I will connect it to the function on gun switched. And I will put it with the style changed. And I will say function on style switch. And remember that this one is an ID and an int. So let's create the ID. Let's call it ID and we'll say int. And it will go into a void. And again, I want the wise.set switch ID. I want to refer first to the group of the switch and then to the switch. So ak.switch switches.guns.group. And now what I want is when I change the pop-up item, I want to refer that name to the dictionary of the Wise ID script. So I need to call to the dictionary. So I will say ak.switch classes, and now I want dictionary dot guns dot the switch here, and I want to get the name of the switch, and the name of the switch, it will be the same as the gun switch get pop-up, this one, get pop-up dot get item underscore name. And the name will be referred to the ID. It's not get item name, it's get item text. And finally, I need to refer the game object, and I will say self. Let me put little there. So you can see it more clearly. I will print and I will put the ID lashes, and I will get this one, gun switch get item name ID. Okay, so now when I select the gun, okay, it will throw the ID, which is 0, because again, 0, 1, it will change to shotgun. Okay, so when I'm on the pistol, and when I'm on the shotgun, and if I get down the volume, so there you go. So let's do a quick recap. First, I created the play music and stop music, and assigned the play music to send a signal when it's pressed, and to send and to connect that signal to the on play music pressed. And on play music pressed, it will activate or send the command to post the ID play music. On the other hand, the stop music will send an signal when the mouse enters the button, and it will send on the function on stop music, and it will trigger the stop all event. Then I added the music volume slider and assigned the signal through code by using this command, that is when the value change, that is here, I want to connect it to the onMusic volume changed, that is here. And I assign the game parameters, and I did the same with the SFX volume. Then I assign the option button for the music style. I assign the signal item selected, and I connect it to the onStyleChanged. And on style changed, I set the state ID, and for getting all the items, I created a for going into the dictionary of the states and get it into the song. Then going into the state here, accessing to the keys. What are the keys? It's the function that returns the list of keys in the dictionary. And that way I assign all the keys into the style music, that is this one. Okay? And when the style changed, it was referring to the style changed, and I acceded through the dictionary song state, and I get the style music and then get the item text through the index, that is here, index. And then finally I made a menu button that has the pop-up, and the pop-up I assign the signal ID pressed, and I got there because I got into the search help and I sent search through the signals that the pop-up menu has, and I figured out it has the ID pressed. So when the ID pressed, I connected to the on-gun switch, and I sent it here and created the function and set the, no, this time no, the gun switch. I set the switch ID and acceded through the dictionary gun switch, and I get the gun switch, then into the get pop-up, and in the get pop-up I assign the text corresponding to the ID of the pop-up item. And that's it. So if you have any comments, questions, suggestions, put it in the comments below. With this video and the others, and the previous, you are much ready to go into creating your own menu with a music system for showcasing what you got. I think that the next video will be about using Wwise with a proper simple game, but with this you pretty much have all the fundamentals. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you see the potential that Godot has for the game industry. It just needs time. And yeah, I think that it will be it. Thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.